They paid approximately $28 million for that. Now it has 8 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms. His and her for each bedroom over there. See the empty lot coming up with the blue flower pots? There's a gold house just ahead. Same owner, different properties. They're going to build a bigger house here. The current house will become the guest house. This is the former CEO of Kohl's Department Stores. Anybody ever shop at Kohl's? Yeah? Anybody ever use that Kohl's cash? Yeah? Look what they bought with your cash. Over to your right, you got that place under the palm trees and the white trim, Fort Lauderdale's biggest drug dealer, the CEO of Walgreens. Now we are outbound on the New River. We're going to turn right on the Intercoastal Waterway. Runs from Brownsville, Texas, around the Gulf of Mexico, on up the eastern seaboard, over 3,000 miles long, and we'll be on a piece of it heading to the port today. If you'd like to know what a brand spanking new mansion looks like, here it comes on the right-hand side just ahead. This is Bruce Paddock. Moved in less than a year ago. He had a pharmaceutical company up in Duluth, Minnesota. Sold it about 7 years ago for $550 million. Bought this lot empty 6 years ago for about that, 8.5 million, and began to build the house. The house took 5 long years to build, but it did come out very beautiful. And as we go around the corner especially, you'll get a close-up. Look at how beautiful it is. And as you look at it, I want you to remember something. I got 2 jobs. Narrate on here, and I cut their grass with scissors. Party location, especially on the weekends here. There'll be 200 or 300 boats here usually on the weekends. This is the sandbar shaped like a triangle. They call it the Triangle. Has its own Facebook page. About 2 feet of water at low tide. Food boat out there serves some food. And sometimes we'll ride by here and see things that you can't unsee. Now over to your right-hand side, right down this little canal, there's a split in the canal. There's a house down there on the point, got arches in the front, Wayne Heisler Jr. And then my favorite house is right here. Love this place. Remember Bruce back on the corner? He came down 6 years ago, also bought this for $19.1 million. Had to rough it there for 5 years. He sold it for 22 to move into the big place recently. Oh, we got some people up here fishing on the corner of the dock. Never seen them catch it. Over to your right-hand side, where you see the royal palm trees, the white pillars. They call that the Fort Lauderdale White House. Kind of resembles the White House if you go around the front here a little bit. This is Jack Hutchins. Jack Hutchins used to work for General Motors as an engineer. Back in the early days, they were having problems with their car air conditioners freezing all the time. So one night in his garage, he came up with a little clutch that would turn on and turn off the air conditioner, solving the freezing issue. He wanted to patent this idea, so back Okay, I thought of a couple of things. Here we go. Over to the right, you got a little white boat here. You got the yellow house back there, that's Jim Noggle. 6 consecutive terms as mayor, very popular mayor. Jim's got a yellow house, a yellow shed, a yellow lab, blonde wife, blonde kids. We call him Old Yeller. Next to Jim, or not next to Jim, but across from Jim over here on the left, you'll see the place coming up with arched windows. That was built in 1912 for the Needham family. Later became the John Robert Powers Modeling School for Girls. Look at the grass between us and the girls' school. The models used to go out there and sunbathe, and for some reason, Carrie B seemed to break down a lot right about here. Over on your left coming up, the green condos. You can get a waterfront condo here for only $50,000. Back in 1970. Right now they're about 300,000. Not very big, kind of like a big hotel room, really. Anybody been to an Anthony's coal-fired pizza down here? Anybody? Yeah. Here comes Anthony's house over here to the right. That little boat out of the water, the dark shutters. You got to sell a lot of pizza to live there. He does. And coming up on your left-hand side, you're going to see what looks like a tiki hut, but here in South Florida, they're actually called cheeky huts. They're built by the Seminole Indians. Have a Seminole Indian build your cheeky hut, you don't need a permit. And then check out the boat just ahead on the left. You'll see it says Cheers on the back. That's from 1947. They're just about done restoring it. Check out how beautiful it came out. And then look at the house behind it. Everything from the center doorway left downstairs is kitchen. Anybody know Nick Saban? Coach of Alabama, used to coach the Dolphins down here. Wayne Huizenga owned the team back then. Okay, all right. And over to your right, Wayne Huizenga owned the team. He owned this house right here. And he let the coach live there absolutely free as a nice little perk for being coach of the Dolphins. Ahead, on the right, you'll see the Seafoam Greenhouse. That's where they filmed the 1991 movie Cape Fear with Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte. Pulled out the palm trees, put in pine trees, painted it white, made it look like North Carolina. You might be wondering why they filmed that movie there. Well, at the time Nick Nolte lived here, he was under house arrest for drunk driving, so they brought the movie to Nick. Over to the left-hand side, the Egan's. The Egan's started Alamo Rent-A-Car. The next 2 bends in the river are called Tarpon Bend. Now over to your left on the corner, this beautiful property coming up, owned by, or was built and owned by the Bell family. The Bell family, what did they do? They started Taco Bell. Call that the Taco Bell house. Anybody see Harry Potter? Here comes the Harry Potter house off to the right. Wayne Huizenga paid the people from Universal Orlando to come down, design and build this house, $26 million. When it was finished, he gave it to his niece Holly as a wedding present. Who wants to be Holly? Now right next to Holly's house, you got the little river there, that's Tarpon River. This is Tarpon Bend in the New River. If you look to your left in front of Taco Bell on the rocks, you'll see a crocodile over there. That's an original prop from the early Tarzan movies that were filmed here with Johnny Weissmuller. Then look to the right of the rocks, you'll see a bell-shaped bush, of course. Then look at the end of the Taco Bell house where the tree has no leaves on it. Look at the roof line. You see that roof line on every Taco Bell. And you got the window sticking out there, the original drive-through. Now the house on the right side of Taco Bell here, the burnt orange trim over there, that is the CEO of Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casinos here in Hollywood. Anybody help pay for that? Yeah. Now over to your right-hand side, right here at the blue and white boat, Wayne Huizenga. His property starts right here and goes around Tarpon Bend a good ways. Wayne owned the Miami Dolphins, the Florida Marlins, and the Panthers. Sold those teams. The family still holds on to about 5% of the Miami Dolphins. Bell Tower up there played about 500 of Wayne's favorite songs on the bells. The jacuzzi's on the second deck, infinity pool below, and the trim up there is real gold. Now Wayne loved the boats. He'd be out here on these chairs sitting about 80% of the time when the boats were going in and out. He'd wave at everybody. He loved the boats. And Wayne, even though you'll find out that he owned everything in the world around here, He was the coolest billionaire ever. He would hang out with regular people. Wayne had been on this boat 3 times with his family, with everybody else. He could have bought this boat 8 zillion times over. And coming up later, we'll show you a restaurant he used to hang out. You could walk right up to him. Over to the right, see those sculptures of dolphins? All of Wayne's family had those same sculptures in their yards when they owned the Miami Dolphins. And as we travel down here, you'll see the greenhouse with the little brown door. That's where the tractor goes in and out. That's the gardener's house. Last piece of the property there, that is the theater for the property. Now, unfortunately, Wayne passed away about 5 years ago. They sold this property off to Chuck West, the founder of Pet Supermarkets. Wayne started a whole bunch of companies, 3 major ones you might have dealt with or heard of before. Blockbuster Video, AutoNation, and Waste Management. Now over to your left, this beautiful house right here on the corner, Kenneth Simmergrand, he owns an investment firm, and straight behind us, the tower downtown called One Financial Plaza. Next up on your left, you'll see the rocks, no house on the property. That's because they knocked it down about 4 years ago when the lady that lived here died. Her name was Virginia Wells, as in Wells Fargo. She was the matriarch or grandmother of the family. When they knocked down the house, they actually outlined in rocks and plants over there where the house used to be. Now, Wells Fargo owns about 90% of the expensive storefronts on Las Olas Boulevard. Wells Fargo owns about 90% of my house. That ain't that funny. You know what I found out about these people? Now they want money every single month. All right, ladies, any ladies on the boat like to meet a 41-year-old recent billionaire bachelor? Here he is over to the left. That's his house, built it 3 years ago for $11.5 million. How did he become rich so quick? He has a program online that helps other companies advertise their companies easier. And next up, you got the slanted roof over here just ahead. You'll never guess whose house this used to be. He used to live with Opie at Aunt Bee's house, hang out with Barney all the time, Sheriff Taylor, Andy Griffith's old vacation. Down there off the end of the pier, that's Sunny Isles. That's just north of Miami Beach. We can never see Miami Beach because the coast curves back behind the buildings. Over to your left-hand side, all these little buildings here, secret Navy installation. Don't tell anybody I told you. What they do here is nuclear submarine testing right offshore. Water gets down to 1,500 feet very quickly, which also makes this a very good port for cruise ships and other ships to come in and out of. It's one of the simplest ports to get in and out of around the world because it's so wide, it's very deep, and as soon as they get past the first couple markers, all the ships can go left and right anywhere they want. Now, look over to your left, you'll see a black sign lit up with red letters. That says, no anchoring from here to Dania Pier. The reason for that, if you had your anchor out and a sub came through, you're going for a fast ride. And we got the Celebrity Apex backing out to get out of here. We'll be passing them in just a second on the left-hand side. If you want to wave to everybody up on the ship, we can get them there when they come out close enough. Head over to your left hand. You'll see that building with all the glass coming up, the tan top. That's Nova Southeastern University. Underneath his full name, there's another name scribbled in tall, dark letters. That's Guy Harvey. He's the guy who paints the fish scenes. They put them on t-shirts and paintings. He has a foundation to protect reefs around the world. In that building, they house live samples of every type of coral from around the world. This way, if one type were to become extinct, they could repopulate it with the samples in the building over there. They also do shark and turtle research. Land and funding for that building provided by Wayne Huizinga. To the right of that building, you'll see the little tower with the blinking light. That's kind of like the control tower for the port. Controls all the traffic. That's the harbor master up there. And we got 4 cruise ships in here. Imagine 15, because Port Everglades holds the world record for the most cruise ships in any port on one day around the world. Several years ago, we had 15 giant cruise ships here all at once. That's a pretty big deal because the closest competitor to that anywhere in the world, their top number was 7, so not likely to be broken anytime soon. That just happened to be the Port of Miami. Not only do the cruise ships come here, but we also have another visitor quite often, the world-famous Queen Mary II, the only ocean liner in the world. That actually made its maiden voyage from England to Port Everglades. It comes here a lot, docks right over there. And the Queen Mary 2, quite a bit different than a cruise ship, even though it might not look like it from the outside. It's built 3 times stronger than a cruise ship, so it can keep speed across the ocean. Hey, Jay. Yeah, so they can go through storms or anything with the Queen Mary. They don't have to slow down. The other ones, if they did go across the ocean, would have to slow down or go around the storm. And we'll give you a few minutes here to look at the ship coming by real close and maybe wave at the people up top. And then we'll pick up the tour once we get around the corner. Now let's give you distances from here so we know exactly where we are. If you went out the inlet 45 miles, Bimini Island in the Bahamas, right back up the Odyssey of the Seas there, 156 miles that way, Key West over there to your left, and right over top of the yacht carrying vessel right there, 109 miles that way would be in Naples, Florida on the west coast, and straight ahead we'd be 187 miles away from standing right in front of Cinderella's castle in Walt Disney World. And speaking of Disney, we got all kinds of cruise lines here that have to call this a home port, and also all the visitors. But we also have a new resident coming. Disney's building their terminal over here to the left behind the Sky Princess there. Now Fort Lauderdale has some nicknames, the yachting capital of the world. It looks like it, I wish it was. It's actually the Winnebago camper people. And over to your right-hand side, you'll see that place right there with the arches. That is Tom Bodette, Motel 6. And just to the left of Tom's house there, you see the square place they just built. On that same property, they knocked down a house from the 60s to build that one. That's where Sonny and Cher's place was. Now behind these houses, more canals. We can't fit in those canals. But we do have stars that have vacation homes back there. Huey Lewis, Reese Witherspoon, Gene Hackman, and David Copperfield. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be at Wendy's house.